All right, so today you guys are doing section 8.2. So don't write any of this down, just kind of listen. So what you guys should have learned from last class was the difference between a prism and a pyramid. So I have some prisms and I have some pyramids. Can you tell which ones are prisms and which ones are pyramids? All right, so for example, these two right here, this one is a prism. And it is a pentagonal prism because the base is a pentagon. Whatever the base is, there's two of, and they're parallel. And this forms a right angle. So this is a right pentagonal prism. This one also has the base of a pentagon, but it's got a tippy point. So this would be a pyramid. All right. So here we have a triangular prism, because there's two of, and they're parallel to each other, okay? And then here we have a triangular pyramid because the base is a triangle and it has that tippy point. So this one would be a hexagonal pyramid. This one would be a hexagonal prism, and you could say it's a right hexagonal prism. There's something that's called oblique, where it would be like if you had a slanted. So say this would be like a right rectangular prism, but if I offset these a little bit, then you have an oblique, so they're like all slanted. Also, if you already did your homework, great. You can kind of check your answers. So what you're finding is the area of your base. Your base is not a 7 by 13. Your base is always going to be whatever you have two of and they're parallel. So in this case, your base is a triangle. And so you find the area of your base, volume is base times height, and then surface area. You can either use the formula or just add up all the pieces. So here's the formula, but if you add up all the pieces, I just add up the bottom sides, the two slant sides, and then the front and back. Okay. So you just check your answers or just fast forward over to the lesson. Answers on the back page. And again, don't forget your units. Volume is cubed and area is squared. Okay, so now for the lesson. If you have your packet, you guys have this formula sheet. If you do not have a packet, I will post a solution or a formula sheet, and you can always access it at any time. Or you could always just Google the formulas for all of these shapes. And again, this is the formula sheet that they would give you on the SATs. I think if you took the PSATs, you already saw those kinds of formulas. All right, so what we're going to do today is pretty much the same thing as last time, but we're going to add a couple of new vocabulary words. They are edges. So when we talk about edges, we're talking about these, okay, the edges. The faces, so faces are going to be the flat surfaces. So here's a face, that's a face, that's a face. And then vertices are just the tippy points or the corners, okay? How many corners does it have, right? So we have edges, faces, and vertices. So for this first one, the area of the base, well, you have to figure out what shape your base is. And in this case, you could actually pick two things. You could have picked the base as this because it's whatever you have two of and they're parallel, or you could have picked the top and bottom. It doesn't really matter. Since it's set this way, we're just going to pick the bottom. All right, so again, our base is this right here because there's two of them. So it is called a right rectangular prism, okay, because it has a rectangle base, and it's a prism because it doesn't have a tippy point, so it's not a pyramid. Edges are going to be one, so like the line, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, okay. Faces are how many flat surfaces, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. Vertices are how many corners, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. area of your base, so 6 by 3, 18. And I always do the units at the end. Volume is area of your base times your height. Well, the area of your base is 18. The height is from one base to the other base, so your height is 4. Okay, so 18 times 4. All right, and let me go back and put the units. So this is going to be centimeters squared. Volume is centimeters cubed. Surface area. So the way I do surface area is I just add up all the pieces. So I'm going to show you my way, and then I'll show you the formula way. Okay, so in my way, I'm just going to take all of these sides and just multiply them. So 6 times 3 is 18. Use this pencil. So you have 18 here, 18 here. You have 3 times 4, so this side is 12, and so that side is 12 as well. And then the front and the back. So that back side is 6 by 4, and the front is 6 by 4, so that's 24. So I have 2 18s. I have 2 12s, and then I have the front and back 2 24s. Okay, I'm going to multiply that, add it all. Okay, so all I did was 2 times 18, 2 times 12, 2 times 24, plugged it into my calculator, and I got 108 units squared. So this would be the surface area, okay, and this is how I do it. I just add all the pieces. If you like formulas, there is a formula. And the formula for a surface area of any right prism is this. What you do is you take the perimeter of your base, so 6 plus 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, perimeter of your base, which is 18, and you do the height of your base, so 18. The height is from one base to the other, so that's 4. Plus 2 times the area of your base. Well, area of your base you already know is 18. Plug this into your calculator and you get 108. This is so much faster than doing all the pieces. Which one do I prefer? Personally, I don't like memorizing anything. And it's really easy for me just to add up all the pieces. Maybe takes me a little bit longer. It's up to you which method you choose. I add up all the pieces, but if you like this formula, go ahead and use that formula. Just make sure you understand P stands for perimeter of your base. The height is from one base to the other. And then capital B is the area of your base. Okay, a common mistake is that students say, oh, the base is 6. No, the base is not 6. Capital B stands for the area of your base, so 6 times 3. And if you had a different shape, like if you had one of these, then you'd find the area of this shape. All right, okay. Check your answers. All right, next problem.